What's up, everybody? We got a laser, and I read on the internet that helicopters and planes like them, and I think I hear one going by now, so let's go shine at them and say hello.
FBI, open up!
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Operator Blue. We're gonna get straight into it. If you like going over guns, survival, tactics, everything like that, hit the subscribe button down below, hit the like button. It all helps out. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming back, or if this is your first time watching, welcome. Today we're gonna be going over the Votatu V840. This is a flashlight plus a visible green and IR combo that you can get on Amazon right now. As the time of this filming, late September. You can get it for like 85 bucks on Amazon. I got it for about 100 when it first hit the market, and I think for that price it's a pretty good steal. But of course we're gonna go over the pros, we're gonna go over the cons, but first of all I like to go into the box and unboxing experience. So I am a sucker for a solid box, and I'm not gonna lie, I like the packaging of this. So of course inside you get the unit. Now it does come pre-installed with a Picatinny rail. I went ahead and installed the M-LOK ones because the firearm that I'll be mounting it to the side, and it uses M-LOK. And we'll get into why that's kind of important later. A little bit of one of the cons for this unit, but we'll get there. Of course, inside the box you've got a user manual. If you want to read it, I recommend reading it, go through it. You have your remote switch with a pick rail mount for it that it sits right in, and the plug for it, which is not like your normal, I forget what the actual name for it is, but the normal one that you find with like PEX, D-ball, that you can use with Surefire lights and everything like that. It's not that one. This is more of like a 2.5 millimeter jack that is proprietary to the Votatu. It does come with a M-LOK remote mount as well, in case your entire handrail or whatever setup you're using is M-LOK. Comes with a bunch of extra screws, M-LOK, the adjustments, everything like that. Now, with what's in the box set aside, we can go over the actual unit itself, and I'm going to break this video down into 3 different chapters. We're going to look at the light, we're going to look at the infrared using my night vision, and if you want to get an idea of the unit that I'm using and see a video on it, this is the NVG30 digital night vision. You can check the card up here, it'll send you right there. Great unit. And we're going to look at the green visible light as well. So first, let's go over the actual construction of the unit. So as far as I know, this unit only comes in black. Let me know in the comments below if I'm wrong about that, but I think it only comes in black, but it is all aluminum. Supposedly it's rated for shooting. Now, I'm not gonna lie, haven't taken it out to shoot yet, but I will be posting a video of how to zero this green dot in IR, as well as how it holds up at the range. But with that aside, it seems pretty robust. It is IPX7 rated, so you can shoot it with water and it can go as deep as whatever IPX7 is rated for. And this unit has a built-in battery, which is both a pro and a con. You have the manual push button at the bottom, and you have your toggle switch right here that you can switch between light and laser, green laser, and IR. Now, this does have the ability to do the strobe, so seizure warning. It'll also strobe this, and it'll also strobe your green laser, and you can strobe your IR laser as well. But that's pretty much it for the build. So if you look at the front of the unit, you have your white light, your flashlight, and then you have your green and your IR that are slaved together. So when you take this out to the range to zero it, when you're zeroing the visible green, you're also zeroing the IR laser. And of course, I'll probably have a video coming up of how to zero this, because there's 2 main ways. You can either zero parallel or convergence. Difference being, one just follows your bore sight. So if it's an inch off to the right of your bore, that's where it's always gonna hit. And convergence, kind of like zeroing a red dot. So if you zero it at 50 yards, that's where the 2 points meet. But if you're shorter than 50 yards or further than 50 yards, your target's gonna be off. But first, let's look at the flashlight. So off of their website, which has very minimal specs compared to Somo gear, PEC 15s, D-balls. The specs that they put on the website for this unit are very slim to none. So the flashlight is rated at 1500 lumens. Now, we will be comparing it to a Streamlight TLR1HL, which I believe is rated at 1000 lumens, and a Streamlight TLR7 Sub, which is rated at 500 lumens. All right, so I have the 3 flashlights that I'm testing up here. Now, I, for a second, am not gonna put which one is which, so let me know which one you think is which, and then here in about a second, I will put the actual flashlight it is above each window. So let me know if you guys are impressed and not impressed, if you guys don't even like the Streamlights in the first place. But but I think compared to these ones, the Votatu is actually doing pretty well. So now we're gonna get into the green visible laser. Now there's not much to really say about it. It's a pretty strong green visible laser. Just messing it around, as you can see here, lighting everywhere I need to light up. Again, I haven't taken it to the range yet, but we will get there. But it's doing its job. It's pretty bright. So when you look at PEC 15 stats, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I wrote all these down. The visible laser of a PEC 15, just your standard L3 Harris PEC 15, is also rated at 5 milliwatts max. Now I think a more comparable option would be that of the Somogear PEC 15 clone that everyone seems to like. Usually you get it potted. Love to get my hands on one. Don't have one yet. Just remember, it's about a little over double to sometimes triple the price of this one. Not saying whether right or wrong, but just keep that in mind. And the Somogear has two actual options. On the low end, it's got a 0.7 milliwatt laser, and then when you put it up too high, it's got a 4.9 milliwatt laser. Now, I'm sure there's some magic in here. This isn't a 5 milliwatt laser, but that's just what it's rated for, but it seems to work pretty good. Now we get into the IR, which unfortunately you're gonna have to have some way to use that, whether it's using NVG goggles or in some cases, cameras can pick up the IR laser. So you can see here, but zeroing it like that is going to be next to impossible. So obviously you can zero with the visible green, but just be aware of that if you don't have a way to utilize the IR, I would assume that you're probably working towards it in whatever way fashion. Just get something so you can have that squared away. Okay, so we just need to wait a minute for my couple motion lights to go off. I've got my NVGs on, and starting now, I'm also recording with them. Got the Votatu, we're gonna go over the IR light through here. So if you see the light that's right there, that is a IR floodlight camera. Nothing I can really do about that. That's kind of always there. If I turn the flashlight on, that's the NVGs with the flashlight. That's just the laser, and I think the laser is going off on the one previous to that. I had it on the wrong setting, but that's fine. There's the green laser, pretty noticeable. So hopefully the GoPro is picking that up as well. And here goes IR. Now, if you're looking at the Sony camera, hopefully I am aimed the right way. I don't think you can see that at all. Let me do the green. There you go. You can see the green on the wall, and I don't think you can see the IR. That is the IR illumination. Pretty strong. I mean, I can see that beam on the fence line. That is working pretty well. So let's go into some pros and cons of this unit. It's small, it's lightweight, it only weighs 223 grams. I think that's without the remote, but the remote isn't super heavy, so throwing that in, it's a pretty lightweight unit. For the price, this gets you a flashlight, green laser, and IR laser combo for super inexpensive, and it works pretty well. I think that's a ginormous pro. Of course, if your remote fails, you have the manual pressure switch on the bottom that you can always use. The flashlight's super bright, and now the runtime I think is pretty good for rechargeable, but of course we're gonna get into a con of why that battery is also bad. And it's also IPX7 rated, so you can get it wet, you're not gonna have to worry about it. You can temporarily submerge it, but I wouldn't leave it underwater for very long. And I'm also curious, when you use this, does it make a watertight seal? I'm not gonna personally test it, but it may work out. Now, some of the cons you're gonna have to decide for yourself. The built-in battery is both a pro and a con. So it's easy to use, you don't have to worry about carrying around batteries, you just have to worry about a way to charge this, and it just charges with the magnetic cable. That's a USB port, so you can solar charge this. You can charge it if you have power. There's a ton of ways to get this powered up without having to rely on batteries. Now, at the same token, it's not as powerful as using CR123A batteries or AA batteries like some systems use. It's not gonna have the same battery life, which is a downfall to this. Now, in any kind of situation, you're not running around with this thing on 24/7. At least I don't recommend it. You should be using this sparingly, just like you use a flashlight sparingly, you use a green dot sparingly, and you use an IR, especially if your enemy or wherever you're at also has the ability to see in the dark. They're gonna be able to see that IR. So you want to use it sparingly and when it's tactically appropriate. You're gonna have to judge whether or not that is a pro or a con for you, but for the price, I think it's a pro. For the tactical survival mindset, I think it's a con. Other cons, I don't think this is quite as robust as like a PEC is or anything like that. Now, I've heard plenty of people say that even a PEC 15 has trouble over time keeping a zero. Let me know if that's true or not in the comments down below. I don't personally know. I've never personally used one, so we'll see how this one decides to hold up. Additional cons is you can't mix it with any other remote system. So granted, this has a built-in light, but if you were trying to run this just for like IR illumination or an IR laser, and you're trying to run like a Surefire Scout light or something like that, you're gonna have to have two remotes. There's no way to daisy chain them or plug them in together. And compared to the higher end counterparts, it's just not as powerful. So you're gonna have reduced distance, especially if you're trying to use a green laser during the day. Now, I am not personally a visible laser guy. I have one on my Glock 19. It's an Olight combo. I think it's the Balder Mini. It has a flashlight and green laser. I don't personally ever run visible lasers. I know they're great for quick target acquisition. I just don't ever find myself using them, but that's gonna be dependent on you. Another con is the layout. I don't know if a PEC 15 is wider than this unit, but if you mount this unit on the top rail of your rifle, the separation between the flashlight and the laser and where it mounts on the PEC rail obstructs the laser. So this is the unit mounted on my 300 Blackout, and for the astute of you out there, or the FUDs, this is legal. If you notice that maybe the barrel looks a little short, I've got papers for her. She's legal. Chill the fuck out. So this is it on my 300 Blackout. It's not bad. It's a little in the way of my grip, which is a C-clamp. So take that into consideration when you're mounting it. But the only problem is with flip-up sights, and I like to have backup irons, especially when just running red dot, just in case this fails. These don't fail. That's just one thing to be mindful of. Maybe I'll see if I can get like a pick rail extension. I don't want to make it too big. It's not that bad, but it is there. All right, so I need to just get a Ranger band, and I'll clean up these cables and keep them all nice and tidy. One thing I did not realize this before I was messing with, so if you just press the switch, it's an on-off. However, if you hold it, now it's a toggle, I think is the proper term for it. So if you hold it and let go, it's just a temporary until you let go of it. And then of course, if you double tap it, you've got your strobe. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. If you like this content, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Let me know what else you want to see, or if you would use this unit over a Somo gear or a more expensive unit. Probably not a more expensive unit, but plan on saving some money. Let me know what you think about this guy. So enough rambling. I appreciate it. As always, love your family, hug your family, and stay safe.